Yeah. Good morning. It's Phyllis. I recently found an interesting video on internet, on YouTube, and I will put it in a text box somewhere here below or above or in the text below. So watch that text and watch that YouTube film. A while ago, I requested to Mary Schweitzer, who found the fresh blood tissue in a T-Rex bone, a dinosaur T-Rex bone, to do some carbon dating on that stuff. Well, I did not know about this movie, which is put on internet, but there is a doctor who already performed that a couple of years ago, before my request actually. And what turns out to be is that indeed there is carbon-14 present in all kinds of dinosaur tissue from bones. And they all, these carbon samples trace back to an age of these dinosaurs less than 40,000, 40,000 years old, less than that. Which brings us to the conclusion that dinosaurs are not millions of years old, but as the Bible claims again and again and again and again, that the Earth is not billions of years old, but only a couple of thousand years old. I don't agree with the 40,000 years, of course. I mean, the Bible clearly states that the Earth is about 6,000 years old, if you calculate it, based on the Bible itself. But it shows clearly, based on carbon-14 dating methods, that dinosaurs are not millions of years old. They're only a couple thousand years old. And no, they are not, the carbon-14 is not there by contamination. You have to watch the video to know why it's not because of contamination. Very strong arguments why it's not due to contamination. And but you have to watch the video for that. So actually, my request a couple of I think it was last year or something like that, 2013, has already been done by a professor or a PhD guy in Germany who pointed this out. But the thing is, it's not accepted in the mainstream of so-called science because it contradicts their own billions of year hypothesis. So you will not hear this in the big, grand scientific media because it contradicts the ideas of the secular science of billions of years. And so it's left out of the grand secular science community, which is not fair. I mean, that's not how science is performed. Science deals with facts. Well, this is a fact. Diamonds containing carbon-14 as well is a fact, a science fact. It's not a science fiction. It's not imaginatory. It's not fantasy, but it's a science fact. Just as the carbon-14 in dinosaur bones. But yeah, it contradicts the billions of years hypothesis, and so you will not find it in the mainstream scientific media. But that's not science, folks. Science is honest and open-minded, and science must acknowledge the facts that are found, including these facts, and which prove that dinosaurs did not live millions of years ago and died off massively due to mass extinction due to a meteor. Well, maybe the meteor part is true, I don't know. yet, but at least they are not millions of years old. I mean, let's tell something about carbon-14 dating. Well, the half-life of carbon-14 is 5,730 years, approximately. Well, let's say it's 6,000, that calculates easier. Let's say 6,000. Well, if I have 1 kilogram of pure carbon-14, then 6,000 years later it's half a kilo. 6,000 years later it's a quarter of a kilo, and so on and so on. Well, I can do that about 100 times, a little less than 100 times, and then I remain with less than 1 atom of carbon-14. Well, so and if you do that 100 times, that means 100 times 6,000 years. That's, in my calculation with my calculator, it's 600,000 years. So 1 kilogram of pure carbon-14 will evaporate into nitrogen-14, because that's what it ends up in, evaporates as gas in less than 1 million years, in actually even less than 600,000 years. So if people find carbon-14 in a sample, I mean, I happen to be a chemist, and we have mass spectroscopy, which you can determine the carbon-14 contents very accurately, but not accurately enough to measure 600,000 years, because it's not accurate enough to measure more than, what is it, 90 or to 100,000 years, because our instruments are not as accurate to go detect lesser amounts of carbon-14 than which you would detect about 100,000 years. And these are high advanced mass spectroscopy instruments, highly advanced, and so they can detect only to 100,000 years back in time. And what has been found is that these dinosaur bones contain soft tissue and tissues, proteins, and all kinds of stuff that are less than 40,000 years. So well above the detection level. The detection level is about 100,000 years, and it's well above that. So it's a trustworthy measurement. And but yeah, you will not find any carbon-14 in samples that are supposedly older than 600,000 years, because then there is, from 1 pure kilogram of carbon-14, less than 1 atom of carbon-14 would remain. So sorry, folks, sorry for the people who believe that the Earth is billions of years old. It's factually not. It's scientifically not provable that there are billions of years. Dinosaurs did not live millions of years ago. They lived only about 4,500 years ago, and died off with the flood of Noah. And this movie, which I put down below here or up there in the text, or even in the text there below, you know, where I can leave comments. So watch that movie. This guy tested this carbon-14 hypothesis, and it became true. He found carbon-14 in dinosaur bones. But you will not find it in the big media, big scientific media. Why not? Because it contradicts their beloved religious hypothesis that the Earth is billions of years old. So you will not find it in the mainstream science media. That's why you find it here. Okay, with me. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the movie. It's not made by me. It's a presentation of a science guy, a PhD from Germany, I think, and he presents the results of his measurements and his carbon-14 determinations, which again you will not find in the mainstream science peer-reviewed stuff. Why not? Because all these peer reviews, liars that are used to peer review other liars will never tell the truth. So the mainstream secular science are misled in their billions of years of thinking. And so, well, if you are in that mainstream thinking of billions of years, you will never look outside of that box. So that's why you will not find it in so-called peer-reviewed science magazines. Why? The whole peer review, it maintains itself in the billions of years ideology and religion. So they will never think outside of billions of years. So peer-reviewed science literature is always contaminated with billions of years point of view, and they never will look outside of the billion and millions of years box. So that's why I don't do not highly appreciate peer-reviewed secular science magazines. Why? Liars peer-reviewing other liars never brings the truth above the table. So why take these folks serious? Liars peer-reviewing liars maintains the lies. Okay, this is what I wanted to share. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye. Hasta la pasta.